anybody to do something and they refused or something like that. In that context, everybody has the right to their private enclave. They don't have to come and affirmatively state everything they know about everything. That's just not the way our society works. It's not the way, it's not how the Constitution works. People are protected until they're not. And so that, in my opinion, Your Honor, I don't believe that the Laundries would have an obligation to provide certain information and not provide other information. That they can withhold all information until it's compelled of them. That's or they're provided immunity by the government or whatever the circumstance might be.
Well, let's put a pin in that right now so I can hear from your opponent.
Yes, Your Honor. And Your Honor, for our remaining arguments, we'll just rely upon our papers unless the court has some specific questions that you'd like to address.
Thank you, sir.
May it please the court. Your Honor, this case is not simply about the silence of Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, who knew that their son had brutally murdered Gabby Petito. It's not simply about their callous refusal, despite pleas from the Petito family, to speak up about whether or not Gabby was alive and if she wasn't, where her body was located. It's about a course of conduct that they committed from the moment they learned on August 28th of 2021 that their son had brutally murdered Gabby Petito up until the time that her body was found. And as this court has already noted and pointed out, that includes the statement that was made the one time they decided to speak up. They spoke up through their attorney, and I'll touch upon the importance of that in a little bit.
All right, what's going on, guys? It's Young Link Jr. here. So the family of Brian Laundrie had their first court appearance this afternoon for a lawsuit that was actually filed, motion by Gabby Petito for damages related to her death. Okay, so believe that, the Gabby Petito believed that the Brian Laundrie's family, the parents, they actually had some type of information. They was withholding information, that's relating to their daughter's death. Okay, now as you can state too. Now, that was Matthew Luca. That's one of the co-counsel of defending the Laundries. And the other gentleman, I believe, I think it was like Patrick Relli. Yeah, he was the attorney for the Gabby Petito. And yeah, man, I like what he was stating. Like, he was like, hey, this is not really about the Laundrie silence. This is also with the information that they had. Because we know, I talked about this last year throughout summer. I was actually staying up all night looking and researching about this. And this is actually before, Dog the Bounty Hunter actually got into this case, because it was a whole national incident. They was supposed to go all over, the world or the country. There was supposed to be like some type of tour, and she enjoyed that van life. She was very successful in that. She's a good vlogger, very beautiful. And for whatever reason, Brian Laundrie got into his feelings, man. And they said, many months later, when they found her remains, she was strangled. Okay, and then that's when, he became a fugitive. He was out on the run, and for some strange reason, it seems like the Brian Laundrie family, they actually knew it seemed like they knew where he was as far as his belongings. Okay, they was going to the Carlton Reserve. They actually looked back into the, RV park. It was super crazy, man. And, the thing is too, I believe that even though they're not there, it's just like, why would you not even show up? Man, you got people who actually don't even show up to court for like speeding tickets or, possession of marijuana, things of that nature, and they get a arrest warrant, warrant for their arrest, for little, fallacious charges. But I will say this, the judge asked Luca several questions throughout the argument during the hearing, okay? Luca argued that through the Petito's family claims that the Laundries had no obligation to speak up during an investigation. That's when the Petito family, Patrick argued that the case wasn't about the Laundrie silence. All right. Joseph Petito and Nicole Smith sued Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, okay, for actions damages exceeding $30,000 and attorney fees, the document shows. The plaintiffs claims that the Laundries knew the location of the remains of the Gabby Petito, and they're saying that what happened, and not saying what happened. They're not communicating with them. So if you go back to, if you research this, and when I gotta get the date still, but I know August 28, 2021, a lawyer said, when they found out, her son brutally murdered her. And I believe around September, they found her remains at Petito National Park. But during that time though, like when he arrived home in her van without her. So why in the Laundrie family they cut off all communications from the Petito, because they was looking like, okay, all right, so your son is here. You know, they started knowing from like social media, okay, the son is here. Where's our daughter? I haven't heard anything from our daughter yet. This is ridiculous. I'm pretty sure like they was about to get into some type of, you know, marriage. They had like a mutual relationship with each other. They was engaged. You will think like, okay, Brian Laundrie's parents will actually have some type of formal communication with Gabby Petito's family. But it would seem very odd to me when I was researching this, is that why would you, if you know that your son came home with, and he was supposed to be on some type of tour with his fiance, he came home without her. He didn't give no type of explanation. Well, maybe he did, but you're not going to go ahead and have common sense to call the Petito family and let them know what's going on, or informing them, hey, what's going on, or hey, he had to come back home for emergency, he's going back. Like this didn't make any sense whatsoever. So as we know this too, I remember the Utah and Moab, when there was you know, they had a argument at a restaurant or whatever, and they say Brian Laundrie was really like in his feelings about a lot of things, man, and you know, and they was just kind of fighting verbally, physically, back and forth. He said he hit her and all this stuff, man. And, you know, the police kind of let him go, of course, of this domestic incident. And, you know, that was like one of the warning signs, man. It's just seemed like after that, man, you know, he just got frustrated and, you know, he left the van parked somewhere. And then you got other people was discovering this on TikTok, man. It looked really, really horrible. And that's when he was like on the run. But now they found him. He killed himself. And I found some of his remains in the Carlton Reserve. But they acted with, according to, you know, according to the Petito family, they said they acted with malice or great indifference to their rights. Their behavior exhibited extreme and outrageous conduct, what constitutes behavior under the circumstance, which goes beyond all possible bounds of decency and is regarded as shocking, atrocious, and utterly intolerable in a civilized community, according to the lawsuit. The plaintiff said that they suffered as a direct result of these actions. Yeah, they didn't speak. They didn't cooperate with law enforcement until they was going to that search when they couldn't find them. They say, as I have maintained over the last several months, the Laundries have not publicly commented at my direction, and which is their right under the law, Petito said in a statement. Assuming everything the Petitos alleged in their lawsuit is true, which we denied, according to Bartolino, the Brian Laundrie's parents' lawyers. This lawsuit does not change the fact that the Laundries had no obligation to speak to law enforcement or any third party, including the Petito family. This fundamental legal principle renders the Petito claims to be baseless under the law. Wow. Okay. I think this is on behind the reasoning. And they said here, the Laundries, okay, according to the complaint, there was too much media attention that will cause prejudice in a court of law. The Laundries attorney also states that the Laundries' fundamental constitutional rights to silence, privacy, and representation of counsel, which are also the First, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments, are the reasons the Petitos are claiming emotional distress. And determining a legal ground for emotional distress, the complaint concludes that because of the constitutional right to remain silent, then action of the Laundries cannot be qualified as outrageous or determined as by a judge. Okay, so, you know, this is actually, I'm going to post a little bit about this too, but this is going to be really interesting. I mean, I just like, okay, they didn't even show up. I mean, it's just so much amount of information. I just wish that Brian Laundrie didn't kill himself, because I really want him to, you know, be in jail, you know, for what he did. But hey, I just read that, you know, Gabby Petito, I don't even know they received some justice, but they will definitely tie the knot here if this lawsuit is going ahead is successful against the Brian Laundrie, because I'm looking like, you know, they were so silent. It seemed like they were not cooperating with law enforcement. You would think like, dang, man, you know, my son, he did this murder and whatever. Let me go ahead and just, you know, inform the family what's going on, have my son turn himself in. My thing is, it just looks really, really horrible right now, because you know, they went to the RV party, seemed like they went to the walk in the park, and looks like seems like they were formulating a plan for his escape. And that's really bad, man. You know, harboring a fugitive, things of that nature. So they need to be charged, you know, if this is all true, but which I think it is. But like I said, they could successfully prove this in court. I'm pretty sure Relly is on it, you know, the Petito's family's lawyer. But that's my little take on it, man. I haven't made a video about this until I got any more updated information. So rest in peace to Gabby Petito. And yeah, you guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys, man. I love y'all. I'm out. Deuces.